Good morning, beautiful, beautiful people. Luffy back here again with another video. And today is Monday, April 20th. And I want to give you guys some quick updates about the PPP and the EIDL program. So, as late as last night, leading into this morning, there was some breaking news that came out. But before I dive into that news and share some information with you guys, I just want to ask you guys to please, if you have not, subscribe to my channel, like this video if you haven't already, and later on, please comment down below what else you would like me to talk about. So, last night, or more aptly put, yesterday evening, Stephen Mnuchin was talking about the deal that the Democrats and Republicans had reached, and we kind of got an idea about what sort of things are going to be in this new stimulus package. So, what we're looking at so far is about 300, maybe a little bit over 310 maybe billion dollars being added into the PPP. So if you guys remember, the first round of PPP funding was $250 billion. Now we're getting about 310 that looks like it's going to be added sometime this week. Now this is just an agreement in principle. You know, the Senate still has to pass this resolution, the House still has to pass it, and Trump still has to sign it, but it looks like we're getting closer and closer to a final agreement. There's just slight differences of opinion on coronavirus testing and how much money should be given to that, but the meat of the discussion has pretty much been hashed out at this point. So we're looking at a little bit more than 300 billion, like I said, for PPP funding, which is great. This is more than what was available the first time around, but I'm gonna say it here, and I'm gonna be the first person to say it again. That money's gonna run out. Okay, it might take a little bit longer than the first time, and especially because a lot of big companies have already gotten their money, but it's gonna go again quick. I don't know how quickly it's gonna go, but I can see it going within 2 weeks or so. We'll see. Which leads me actually to the next thing that I want to update you guys on. So in this provision, it also allows for more EIDL funding. So I'm not exactly sure. I was reading through the CARES Act, the actual legislation, trying to find in there how much money was allocated towards the EIDL originally. And so the EIDL was a pre-existing program before the CARES Act, unlike the PPP. And they just gave more money to it, but I wasn't able to find out how much money. In this new bill, we're finding out that they're going to give about 50, 60 billion more dollars to the EIDL program. So if you guys haven't already applied for the EIDL or the PPP, still apply. There's more money that's coming. There's more money that's going to be available. This is how government works. You should not be surprised. PPP, piss poor performance. But it's government, so what did we really expect from the rollout of all this? I wasn't holding my breath waiting for the government or anything like that, just because I know that's how they work. They take 3 weeks to fill a pothole. Why would I think they can deposit millions of dollars into millions of different business accounts within days? Okay, so that's some quick news about the PPP and the EIDL. That's the new information that's coming out. So look for this week for legislation to be passed for another CARES Act, and hopefully more funding that's coming in. If your application is processing at a lot of different lenders, most likely they'll keep your application in queue and continue processing it once the funds have been approved by Congress. So breathe, relax. I know. But hopefully that money will come in, and then we can all, not all, because like I said, it'll probably go, but hopefully those of us who have applied will be able to get our funds. So on to the next topic. So some hot gossip, I guess you could say. The CEO of Shake Shack yesterday went on LinkedIn and wrote an article about why Shake Shack decided to take out a PPP loan and why they decided to give it back. And now, if you guys have seen my last video, I believe I posted yesterday, I told you guys that Shake Shack took $10 million in PPP loans, and I thought it was disgusting. I thought despicable, honestly. I read his article, and it looks to me like nothing but a PR stunt. It looks like nothing besides an attempt to make ethical something that was obviously done with a profit motive. Their reasoning for returning the PPP funds was that they received access to additional sources of capital. So they had some sort of relationship with a lender. They established one. They got some line of credit, whatever. They said they're going to be good for the rest of the year. They don't need the PPP money. That is exactly why they shouldn't have even applied for it in the first place. Large corporations have advantages that small businesses don't. They have access to these larger loan amounts from banks. They have access to working capital. Banks want to lend them money because they're lending more money. They're making a higher percentage in commission off the loans that they give to these companies. So they're incentivized to lend to them. They have deep lending relationships, and generally big companies are seen as an easy place to park your money. Corporate debt is abundant, it's available, and it's cheap. Generally speaking, the PPP is cheaper than corporate debt, which from a business perspective, I understand why you took it. You're not going to get a loan like this anywhere else. This is a great loan to get, but it's not for you. Small businesses in times like this are the ones who need government assistance, because small businesses aren't able to go into banks right now and say, hey, I need $100,000 to, manage my payroll expenses and keep my company going. The bank or the lender is going to look at you like, well, you're on the brink of bankruptcy. I'm not going to loan you that money. But if a company like McDonald's goes and says, hey, I need $10 million, oh, for sure, take the money. It's not even an issue, And that's why Shake Shack shouldn't have taken that money. Now, I'm not gonna blow the CEO's spot up or try to go at him hard or whatever, because being completely honest, he's just in charge of one company that applied for the PPP. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of large companies, a lot of them publicly traded companies. Think about that. You're a publicly traded company. You had an IPO. You're traded on the stock market, and you're applying for small business loans, and then you come back and you say, oh, we didn't know, it wasn't for us. It was really confusing. Bullshit. You have lawyers working on your team. You have lawyers on your payroll, okay? What small business has lawyers on their payroll? Small businesses, oh man, we need some sort of new program in America. I'm not sure if it's like a micro business, anything less than 10, 15, 20, 50, whatever employees, but wow. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go too hard against the CEO of Shake Shack, because he's one person and that's one company that applied, but it's that train of thinking, that level of logic, that leads us to a situation like we're in now, where a lot of those big companies like Ruth's Chris and Shake Shack and Potbelly got money that was meant for small businesses, which are a lot of the people who are watching this, small business owners or people who are thinking about starting a small business. The reason everyone should be angry about this is because no one starts a large business, okay? It always starts small, and you grow it to be large, but everyone starts small. So everyone should, if you truly believe in the fundamentals of entrepreneurship and America being a center for entrepreneurship and innovation, and putting that at the forefront of how we run our economy and why we've maintained the status as a world superpower, one of the reasons we've maintained that status at the very least, you should see it as an affront when big businesses try to take advantage of small companies. I don't want to go too much more into it. I want to really just give you guys some quick updates about the EIDL, the PPP. Watch out this week for new legislation to be passed, more funds to go into the programs, and potentially more companies starting to say, hey, we're sorry that we applied for that money that was meant for small businesses. We're going to give it back. It could be a PR stunt. Who knows? I'm just here to give you guys the news and a little bit of my opinion, and I'm interested in hearing y'all, so please comment down below. Let me know what you think. Are these companies doing it for business profit? Are they doing it for ethical reasons? Do you believe the CEO? What other companies have you guys heard about or know? I named 3 in this video, and I know a couple more, but if you guys know any, I'd be interested to hear about them as well. I'm gonna put the link to the CEO's response so that you can get objective. I'm just giving you my opinion off of what I read, but you can more objectively read his reasoning for why they took out the PPP loan. So I'll put that in the description box down below. Once again, guys, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to my channel if you find my information useful. Spread the word about it. Like this video, and one love. I'm out.